right, welcome back to I Love Infusionsoft for another tip. Actually, this is going to be a series of tips because one of the most fundamental things related to CRM, customer relationship management, is managing sales pipelines. Yet, at the same time, so many people don't even know what that means. They don't know what opportunity records are and that kind of stuff. And so we're going to break it all down, super simple, make sure you understand exactly what this function of your software is and how you can use it in your business. So Matt, tell us about what happened this week.
So actually just this morning, one of our sales guys gave me a call and he talked to me about a client that he had a consult call with. And during that call, he got access to the account and looked at the app, and this person had a sales pipeline set up. It had like 3.5 stages set up, and when Scott was talking to this individual, their process was very, very limited. There wasn't a whole lot of steps set up. It was new client and close the deal and done. There wasn't anything to it. Mm-hmm. And so Scott was really confused, and he started asking him, and when he spoke with the business owner, they laid out 5 or 6 or 7 different steps that could be tracked.
So they knew their stages, but they didn't know how to kind of get them in Infusionsoft and get it working.
Correct.
Great. So like I said, we're going to deliver for you a little series on sales pipelines. This first video, we're going to explain what exactly is a sales pipeline. So Matt, walk us through the process. Say I'm new to this whole thing. Right. I've got a business. How do I figure out what is my sales pipeline? What does that exactly mean, and where do I go from there?
Right. So first thing, forget everything about Infusionsoft for right now.
Yes.
Let's just dump it off to the side.
Software not needed for this one.
You don't need this. Get out a piece of paper, get a pen, and think about your business individually and walk through your ideal sales process. You get someone, whether they call in, whether they sign up on your website, whether they come into your store, it doesn't matter how you get them. Where do you start and where do you end? And walk through those ideal steps. What should happen along every step of the way? And that's your starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. That is how you define your sales pipeline, or in other words, the sales stages. And then once you get into the software, you're going to actually set up a stage for each one of those steps in the process. And then you're going to determine, do I want to automate something when this step happens, or do I not need to automate things when this step happens? So when I think through the stages, then you described it perfectly, how you come up with those. What are all the things that need to happen to get the person from point A to point B?
Right.
When I think about those in terms of the software, what do I actually need in Infusionsoft? I like to think of them in 2 ways. One is, where can I automate stuff? So one of those might be like, well, part of the process is following up. You get a new lead, and I got to chase them down to see if they're actually interested, right? So I got to call them. Sometimes I don't get a hold of them. So, in that situation, I want to automate. So I figure out, what are the steps that I can or want to automate, right? Like follow-up. Another one is, what are the things that I want to track? And so,
very important.
How many appointments did we set this month, or things like that? What do I want to track? What do I want to automate? And what do I want to do to make sure that people don't slip through the cracks, right?
One of our favorite phrases.
Yeah, we've all had or seen businesses where you get leads and you might follow up a little bit, and then you just get busy, right?
Business happens.
And then 6 months down the road, you're like, oh, I had that lead, and I feel kind of stupid calling them now.
I can't call them now.
So now it's just a dead lead, and so you want to make sure they don't slip through the cracks. So if you think of it in that way, as you're just organizing the process and the stages, you'll do just fine. So step number 1 is figure out what those stages are. Yep. And then in our next video, we're going to talk about, okay, how do we actually set up the mechanics in Infusionsoft to manage those stages? There's 2 things, opportunity records and contact records. We'll break that down, explain them both, make sure you're super clear.
Guys, thanks for joining us today. If you have more questions, just click on the link below. We'd love to chat with you. You can request a consultation or get more tips at iloveinfusionsoft.com. Thanks.
All right, see you next time.